Yeah, you're right. Welcome back to M Hood Fishing, everybody. So, ICW, kind of brown. That's because of the rain the other day. Yeah, you're right. I wanted to do the river, but at the last minute, I decided to come here. That's because I checked the tide. The spot that I wanted to do this afternoon on this side of the river, I'd be standing in water. Normally, that's not a problem, but what happened last night is cold air moved in. I'm standing in a front. I'm wearing a hoodie. I've got joggers on. I've got boots on. It's chilly. It was in the 50s when I got up early this morning. However, this afternoon, it's mid-60s right now. The wind has a chill on it. That's the chill factor, the wind. Mid-60s is not bad. So, ICW, 2 pieces of cut bait. Let's get them out. Real quick, I will do the rig rundown. Both rigs are exactly the same. We'll start with the main line. It's Coastal Brown, 45-pound test, using sinker slides, bead, swivel, normal stuff, right? Leader is 50-pound mono. That is cow hitch to the swivel. Both hooks, octopus-style hooks, 6/0. Panfish is the bait this afternoon. Now, I plan on hitting the river hard this week, next week, and for the foreseeable future because it's warming up. It is now 61 degrees. However, I need to get on the other side of the river for the moment, but not always. It's just when the tide is up like it is right now, high tide, most spots on this side at the level that we're at with the river, it's just a little bit over 11 right now because of the tide being in. Like I said, all that water's up in there. You'd have to stand in water to fish, and it's a little chilly out, so we don't want to get wet. But there's a lot of spots on the other side of the river, and we will be taking the ferry over there and doing those spots. A lot of times when I come to this particular spot, I like to bring an ultralight. We're gonna drop shot a red worm, size 6 Aberdeen, 1/8 ounce teardrop weight right there. I only had 4 panfish to fish with today. Don't think we're gonna run out of all that. You never know. I mean, sometimes things happen that you're not expecting. However, this is just to fill the time, fill the boredom, get rid of it rather. Sometimes at this spot, it feels like the catfish are adhering to some kind of weird zoning laws. Well, they're not weird if you really think about it. What I mean is, a lot of times you're gonna get nice blue cats, even small ones, out in the channel of this canal, and closer into the bulkhead where we're perch jerking. From the bulkhead to about 20 feet out, it's all channel cat. However, sometimes it can be very small blue cat as well. It seems like the channel cat love to be in this area. They like that depth. It's maybe right now, because of the level, maybe about 4.5 feet right off the bulkhead right now. Many years ago, I was fishing the Mississippi River in New Orleans, and there was this old man fishing near me. He catches a catfish, and he starts going, "Oh, it's a blue cat, I finally got a blue cat." And I went over to see what he was fussing about, and I told him, "Bro, that's a channel cat." I have a problem of correcting people. It gets me in trouble sometimes. And he looked at me and said, "Well, they're all channel cats." So how do you figure that? He said, "Because they live in the channel." Okay. Oh, there was a bite. He's the same guy who once tried to convince me. I thought he was pulling my leg at first. He came up out of nowhere walking down the levee. I was fishing for bass. I was catching bass. And he asked me, "Are you catching fish?" And I said, "Yeah, I've caught a few bass, mostly out of the grass." He said, "They're vegetarians. That's why you're catching them out of the grass." I was like, okay, yeah, you're right. It's 4:38 right now. Looks a lot later than that. It's just a dim, miserable looking day. Okay, this fish hit. Oh, this is not a panfish, but this hit while I was texting my friend Jacob. What did I tell you? We're in the channel cat zone here. If we drop a worm off the side of the wall, probably we'll hit a panfish eventually, but yeah, the dust is off the session. It's not a skunk. It was starting to feel like one. We got old Spotty here. Well, yeah, the skunk is off, but I'm not sure if I'm keeping on this session. I know one thing, do not want to keep this little guy because he is he's a little guy. So I got lines out at about 4:30. That channel cat hit around 5. It's just a little after 5 now. So it took about 30 minutes to catch a fish. Did get a couple bites on the red worm before that happened, and I just had that sitting out because I was texting, like I said. I don't really expect much this afternoon. I haven't seen a bite at all for the cut bait lines. Could be that it's still early. We're not even close to sunset. We got another 2 hours to go. So we might see a bite, but we got these factors against us, these conditions. We're post cold front. We had a bit of a cold wind come in, and the night before that we had all this rain, like yesterday morning and the night. So did that shift the temperature in this canal? As far as the gauge up at Carrollton on the river is concerned, I don't see a shift there. They're not reporting a shift. It's still saying 61. It's been saying 61 for a few days now, about 3 or 4 days. So we got all these pumping stations on this canal, right? We're actually, in fact, across from one, and then there's one just right down there. They've been pumping. So this canal is really dirty, really muddy. So we got those two factors. This could have shifted water temperature wise, and it's really dirty. There's a third factor. I've already said it. I'm here early. Maybe the bite hasn't happened yet. We're just gonna have to spend that time and see what happens. This might actually be the last session for a while on this canal. It's probably gonna be dirty, really muddy for at least this coming week because there's more rain in the forecast. It's not to say that you can't catch fish when this canal is muddy. The best time to catch fish when this canal is muddy is when this water's really warm. Not when it's probably right around 60 right now. Could be 59. There's no gauges to tell me the exact temperature on this particular canal. Oh, did you see that? I had the camera off. I hope I turned it on just in time. We just had a nice tap here. Not a subtle, but a tap. It actually bent the rod tip a little bit. Okay. My mood is changing a little bit. To be honest, I was feeling a little depressed because of the color of the skies, the air is cold, and I'm not seeing bites. But now I just saw a bite, a legit bite on these cut bait lines. Spirits are rising a little bit now. I'm just gonna walk away from the rods like I don't care. Maybe that'll make something happen. There's a little spot down here I want to dip the worm in if I can not get snagged. So we're getting deeper into the afternoon, and as we do, it's getting cooler. I think it's going to drop below 60 degrees again tonight. I actually have not been running my AC since yesterday. I turned it off yesterday. I usually find some kind of panfish right in here, but it is very snaggy. Oh, I barely felt that bite. That's because it's barely a fish. Look at the size of that little guy. Okay, so we're snagged. Here's a trick I'll share with you. Sometimes this works. We're gonna reel down to where we fill it in. You gotta be careful because you don't want to. Yep, there we go. Let me show you show you what we did. We reeled down to the hook as best we could figure out, right? And we pushed it out of the snag. Got to be careful because you could easily damage that. But it's a good way to get out of snags. Doesn't always work, but it's beautiful when it does. Let's see if we can get us another channel cat. We're just going to let it hit the bottom and put it down right here and just sit down and wait. I want to make sure that there's slack in the line. If there's slack in the line, the bait is on the bottom. Oh, we were getting a bite there. Nope. That's twice now. Just something. I'm just going to hang out by the rod. We might have a saving grace here soon. I can hear it. You might not hear it, but if I get up, you might see it. There's a barge coming. That could be what we want. This is the first barge. It is now after 6. We've got a little over an hour. Sunset is at 7:23. Hopefully that is our saving grace, but we have to go through the time. Got you this time. Oh. Well, either this barge that's coming by is our saving grace, or channel cat on my ultralight. Right now, definitely looking like channel cat on the ultralight. Another old spotty. A little bigger than that first one. Definitely bigger than that bluegill we pulled out of the hole over there. Nice. I'm not in the mood to cut fish after this. Oh. Every year, right before it kicks off, there's always a bunch of sucky catfish sessions. Many of them you don't even see because of the skunk. Yeah, you're right. But you got to see this one tonight. Thanks for watching, liking, sharing, commenting, subscribing, and I will see you next time.